You're waiting for the what? All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of ZOLO Mansions. I'm in the building with my people right now. Sarah is here. Y'all already know what's about to happen. You already know what's about to go down. I got crazy topics, but they're not really crazy. They just push the boundaries. I want us to think. I want us to expand our consciousness. That's why I have these types of discussions. This is ZOLO Mansions. What's up, everybody on YouTube? I see everybody coming on in, but you know what the rules is. When you come into the show, you got to hit the like button. You got to hit the share button. We want this discussion to trend. So as soon as you come in, hit the like button, hit the share button. I have an amazing show with some amazing guests, right? Got a husband and wife team. Man, it's about to be interesting. And listen, I want you guys to open your minds. You know, open your minds. Because this is going to stretch some boundaries. And we're going to ask some tough questions as we always do. But before I even get to the topics, you already know what it is. Before I even get to the topics, we've got to support and promote, you guessed it, Black-owned businesses, right? So let's get right to it. So my homeboys, these aren't even for sale. So I'm wearing the VOR, Voice of Reason, radio t-shirt, right? These guys over at RBGTs designed this for free. RBGTs. These aren't even for sale. But it's really nice. And look what else they got. This is funny. Holographic. You know? They got the Holographic shirt. Holographic. Hey, they wild. Not only did they do the Holographic shop, they did go deeper. Over at RBGTs, they did the Go Deeper shirt. RBGTs, tell them Zoe Williams sent you. And this one is my favorite. Well, no, the one I'm wearing, the VOR. I like this one. Leave us. Leave us. They did the Leave Us shirt, man. Over at RBGTs. I love them brothers, man. They hooked me up for that. And these brothers have created a new hat line. I'm wearing their hat line. I want you guys to go to strawandwool.com. Strawandwool.com. They sent a whole array of straw and wool hats. I'm gonna give a couple of these hats to Jeff. You want a hat? Would you look at all that hair? Okay. These are men's hats, but I guess you could wear straw and wool, right? I want you guys to go to their website right now. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. Straw and Wool is the website. Get there right now. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. I want you to support this Black-owned business as we do. You know how we get down. You got to support the Black-owned businesses. It is imperative and important. And they also gave you a code. This is what I like. There's a code. If you go to the website and you type in ZoWhat, you get 10% off. Now let me run through this real fast. Total Package Energy has a whole new packaging scheme. You see that bottle? That energy drink, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 crash, 0 rush. It's all changed. Now they have these little packets that are 18 times stronger than what's in the bottle. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if this is a plandemic. You know how they say it's a plandemic? This ain't real. This is a plandemic. They got something else going on, and then the vaccines and all this weirdness. Well, they've designed vitamin C shots, 8 times more absorption because of this nanotechnology that they use, 100 milligrams of vitamin C. I got a whole bag of this vitamin C stuff, and I'm using it. I done took about 8 of these. But Total Package Energy, B12, all of these shots come in these little packets. And you order them by the quantity, and they come in these bags. Total Package Energy, man. Black-owned. All these businesses are black-owned businesses, by the way. So I need you to support. I need you to rock with them. Also, Wolf. You know what it is. It's that late night firepower for old men. No, it's not. Wolf. It's a testosterone booster. Black-owned business, right? We read all of the ingredients off this thing. It's pretty powerful. Horny goat weed, L-arginine, Pentax ginseng, root powder. There's a lot of stuff in here. Tankat Ali. This is a pretty powerful thing here. Go to xlabs.com. xlabssups.com. 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 Get over there right now. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. Please, please, please support these black-owned businesses that I'm putting in front of you. As you come into the room, hit the like button, hit the share button. You already know the procedure. Let's get this topic trending. It's going to be powerful. Now, are you facing foreclosure? You got to get with my homeboy down in Texas, Thomas Hopes, Investment Solution. He buys homes. He helps you sell your home. He helps you set up Airbnbs. If you're trying to rent, if you're trying to do any of these things, this is the brother you need to get in contact with. His name is Thomas Hopes. I want you to find him. Where's his picture? Lord have mercy, Jesus. Where's this brother's picture, sister? You want to try one of these? Total Package Energies?
The energy one.
Well, the energy isn't here yet.
Okay.
This is just vitamin C.
Okay, let me try that.
You see? Okay, there's Thomas Hopes. There's Thomas Hopes. I'm being interrupted while I'm promoting. There's Thomas Hopes. Please follow him on his Instagram page, Thomas Hopes Investment Solutions. Go there, man. If you're trying to sell your home, use the code ZOSELLS. Get a promo, right? You get a little something for that. If you're trying to rent or you're trying to buy a home, use Zoe Buys. If you're trying to rent, use Zoe Rents on his website. Trust me. Going to benefit you greatly if you do business with this young man. Please support black-owned businesses. Also, don't forget to pick up my books, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. Available on Amazon in 3 different formats, Kindle, Audible, as well as paperback. And The HuriKane Report. See, you thought I was going to my second book, but no. The HuriKane Report for brothers and sisters in America who need alternative news sources that are not biased based on your race. Go to the HuriKane Report. Write it, take action, maintain freedom. Visit H-report.news. And then finally, made man soccery. I got on some made man soccery socks right now. Huh? Where's the graphic? Lord have mercy. All right. Let's get right to it. I want to bring on my guest, husband and wife guest, They've been on my show before. They've been on a gang of people's shows before. Some people consider them controversial. Some people consider them inspirational. I consider them insightful on certain things. And I love having discussions with them because you could tell they're well-read. They have a unique experience. And I love conscious people, right? People who have done the self-work, the inner work. They're amazing for that. So I like to bring people on that's going to stretch our perspectives. Don't you want your perspective to be stretched? Or do you want it to stay in the same little box in which... What happened?
Nothing. Go ahead.
No, I heard you whispering, and you have a certain type of whisper when you're in trouble, right? When you're in trouble, right? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine now.
All right, because you know, you scare me sometimes. You be like, I need help.
Like a stress call.
Right. Right. So let me just bring them on. Karl and Kenya Stevens. They in the building. My brother got him a stogie. His wife is here. The turn up is about to be real. Don't be scared now. God damn it. Don't be scared. Before we get involved, if you two have books or anything you'd like to promote, webinars, conventions, lectures that you guys might be doing, now's the time to tell everybody what it is, how can they support, where's the point of purchase link, all of that right now.
Sure, it's just progressiveloveacademy.com. We run Progressive Love Academy online. We no longer call our company Juju Mama. We changed it to Progressive Love Academy. That's on Instagram and on the web. So that's basically everything. Once we get into the topics, we can weave in where our books come in, but we've written 14 books about open relating, about communication, about how to get married, how to manifest a husband. My husband is a writer. He is just a phenomenal person, and we work as a team and run our academy online together.
Here we go. Here we
Here
go.
we go. That was Kenya K, brother. She's good. She's about to go in. I can feel it.
I already know how this is gonna go because you know how our folk is, man. They be like, what in the Sam hell Zoe got going on over here? It's time to have real conversation, and it's time to not be afraid to do it. So I'm on it. Let's do it. All right, let's just open this up right now. You guys have experience, and I don't know what to call it, right? Because the sister got multiple husbands. The brother's got multiple wives, right? So it's polyandry and what else? Like we can't just give you a. Is it open? What would you label your relationship?
I call our relationship open because Kenya and I are building what we desire together as a couple who've been married 25 years as of this past August. And what we're looking for individually to support our individual mission. So open just means it's a freedom-based relating style. It means whatever it is that's authentic to you, that you desire, you go ahead and go for that. And your spouse supports you in that. I love Kenya and what she's building for herself and for us collectively. She loves me for what I'm building for myself. And that's how we build what we've built so far, which is an amazing family, an amazing community, an amazing business.
Kenya?
In terms of what we call it, call it, as Rakim Sekou said, an amazing relationship. 25 years together. We have 2 children who have gone to college already, 1 more at home. We love our life. We don't work for anybody. We run our own company for the past 16 years. We are successful because we built a network of love. I mean, I have several partners. They all support me. His partners support him, and we all support each other. You know, it's like what they call that flower of life, where you see all those interconnected gifts. You understand? And it's an incredible world that we live in.
For the outsider, and I know you guys get a little pushback and a little backlash. For the outsider, what are some of the things that they say, or maybe you guys aren't even paying attention? Probably. You probably don't even listen, right? You probably ain't even listening, but I'm sure you guys have gotten some kind of pushback, some kind of flack, right? What are some of the things that people are saying when they understand what kind of relationship you and your husband share?
One thing they say is that we're not in alignment with the Bible.
Can we talk about that? Go ahead. Let's talk about that.
They say it lies outside of God. It lies outside of the Bible. It's not what human beings were meant to do. Some people say that we are a monogamous species and it's right and best and organic for us to just relate with one person. So we've gotten that concept, the religious angle, we're monogamous as a species angle, and just basically at the end of the day, people just triggered by it. You know what I'm saying? They see what we're doing. They don't want their husband to have another partner. They don't want their wife to have another partner. So they kind of come at us and attack us. We're not telling anybody to do anything they don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? We're just living our life.
Right.
So but we've heard it all, man. Anything you can think of, we heard it.
Let's just be honest. Listen. I need to go deep into it, right? How old is monogamy here in America? And were we polygamous? I don't know the proper term. You guys can correct me on any wrong thing I say. Were we a polygamous people before we were a monogamous people? Were we indoctrinated with monogamy and that's where we are right now?
Well, what you have to understand is that humans are likely 280 to 300,000 years old as a species. Homo sapiens sapien. So that is a long history before what we consider present day, which is like the past 8 to 10,000 years. Mm-hmm. For the past 8 to 10,000 years, we've been working with Christianity, the big three religions, and monogamy. So monogamy is that young. 10,000 years out of 300,000 is just 4 to 5% of human history. So what were we doing before the past 10,000 years? We were living communally. We were living an egalitarian lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Humans are not a monogamous species. The feminine was the chooser. In all types of indigenous cultures all over the world. In ancient Amazonia, South America, the women would line up the 12 people who she would call uncles. Okay, this is prior to the monogamous culture. And these uncles are people that she slept with within the past year. So these were all considered uncles to her baby. All right. There was cultures where women would want to sleep with the smartest guy, the guy who gathered the best hunter, the best jokester, the best whatever, so that her child would be having all of these different traits. We are not a monogamous species. We do not come from a monogamous history. You can read about that in Chris Ryan's book, Sex at Dawn. But we all know that we're not a monogamous species because today, 66% of those married are having adulterous affairs. Men have never been expected to be monogamous in Western marriage. Western marriage is for women to be monogamous. And so we know why that is. But, so, if we're asking about our history, we have a long history prior to monogamy. And no, we were not monogamous.
Wow. So women are like the Catholic priests of intimate relationships. No, I'm saying it's like a pressure.
Break that down. So
they gotta cheat, but they can't let nobody know that they cheating. They gotta get it from somewhere.
Right. I mean, but that's the sad case when you pretend that women somehow don't have just as much or more of a sensual desire as that women don't have as much or more as a sensual desire as men.
Wow.
We do. Likely more.
Wow.
And so women have always gotten it in, brother.
No, go ahead.
Women they're fucking now. They wilding
right now.
Don't believe the hype. You see what I'm saying? They're just way better at cheating and doing what they got to do on the down low. And you know, a woman she'll get with a man so she can have the marriage and get out of that whole category. You feel me?
Mm.
But it doesn't mean that that man's her best sexual partner of all time. It doesn't mean that she's even, you know, particularly sexually attracted to him. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that she doesn't think about and dream about other men. It just means that because she lives in a world where she's being judged based on her sexuality, she's going to prioritize marriage so that she can be covered in that way and be protected in that way and not called a hoe and not called a potential homebreaker or a bad woman or whatever. So we have a situation right now where, you know, women are kind of forced to seek marriage even with men they might not be really into like that. And you can look at the divorce rate, especially in the Black community, and know that there's some truth there, because 70% of divorces in the Black community are initiated by women.
Mm.
It might even be higher than that.
It's
And
85%.
It's 85%?
Mm-hmm.
So women have a really short fuse nowadays because, you know, they're not really that tied into the brother they're with anyway.
Right. The short fuse is hysterical. Women are like, hey, that's it. I'm on to the next.
Yeah, she's like, you know, because if she's going to be with somebody that she's not really into like that, and she has to sacrifice her sexual freedom, as a man, you got to come correct. You feel me? Like, you can't be like bullshitting her and you know, you cheating and doing some down low stuff or not doing whatever. Like, she's going to be like, I'm out. You see what I'm saying? Now, it's different if she's like really into you and, you know, you're her best sexual partner for life, you're going to get some more leeway. But what we find in marriage, and that's why you see these movements, though, like the, you know, MGTOW and all these beta male movements, because, you know, men they feel like they're getting the short end of the stick. But the reality is they just don't understand the woman. They don't understand the feminine. They're not, the women aren't doing nothing wrong. The men just have the wrong idea or the wrong perspective about what women want, who they are, what they desire. Men think that women are chaste and that they really love this marriage thing and they're going to be in love with them for their whole life. And that's just not the case, man. And what me and Kenya are trying to teach and try to get people to understand is you got to come out of fantasy land. You got to come into reality about who we are as human beings. And we got to learn to honor that within each other and learn to love each other and ourselves for who we actually are, and stop all this lying and cheating and breaking up families over some dumb shit.
No, I could smoke a bag of that. But I think women are under pressure a little more to lie. I think men lie just because they're stupid. But I think women lie because of the pressure of judgment, right? Social judgment, societal, you know, the put down. Like, I don't care how many times I see Tamar Braxton or somebody like that call a man a hoe. It just still doesn't have the same sting. You know, we're like, what? you're calling me a hoe because I'm like, it doesn't resonate the same. So I think women are under a pressure that we're not under when it comes to their sexual nature. Let me just say, are we all in an open marriage and an open relationship, even though we claim to be monogamous? Can we just get to the crux of that?
Oh, absolutely. There's no way to turn human attraction off. Human attraction is on because the only way humans have survived without claws and fangs and teeth like that in the wild for 300,000 years to be where we are today is because we formulated community. Community does not happen in a scenario where everybody's not sexual with each other. That's not community. If my wife is over here or my husband's over here and you need to stay away from him, just like you see now, we have isolation, loneliness, lack of touch. We have we have all of these illnesses. We have things that are happening to humans because of our disconnection. But the only way to connect is to understand that you don't own other humans and that you're always going to be attracted to a plethora of people. Now, is that hurtful for us? I guess so, because we've learned something different. But it's natural to me. So I see somebody I'm attracted to every day.
Are you saying monogamy, and I'm not talking about, because I believe that there are levels to everything. I believe that there are some organically monogamous people, and I believe there's some organically polygamous people and, polyandrous people. I believe organically that's just who they are. Their spirit,
Sure.
their soul, whatever.
Based on what they've learned, Zoe.
Right.
What does that mean, who we are? We are limitless beings. So we are programmable. Whatever we picked up from our culture is what we think we are choosing. So yes, there are people who believe they are choosing that, and there's nothing wrong with choosing that.
But this leads me to my question, which is, do you think the way monogamy is set up today in our minds, do you think monogamy implies ownership?
Without a
ownership
doubt.
of your partner?
Absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's
What else
it's
is
based
monogamy based on?
It's slavery.
Slavery? Say more.
Yeah. I mean, basically, you are being held captive in terms of what you can and cannot do, especially sexually. Monogamy is like it's conditional love, right? So it's saying, look, I'm going to give you a set of rules and protocols and principles to follow. If you do those things, I'll stay with you. I'll keep the family together. If you don't do those things, I'm going to divorce you or separate, or I'm not going to love you, or not going to give you sex, or do all this passive aggressive BS to kind of get you back. Like monogamy is like this cage we put ourselves in, right? And when you're in that cage, you've got very few choices, or so it seems. And that's why I say it's slavery, because we are actually caging each other. And not only are we caging each other in terms of how we function and operate, but we're preventing ourselves from actually telling the truth. Which is one of the biggest issues with monogamy is that monogamy includes lying. Monogamy includes cheating. And people say, well, how is that? Well, first of all, there's a 66+% infidelity rate. So those 66% folks are lying to each other out the gate, okay? And then you have people who can't tell each other the truth. So for example, if I ask you, if a wife is on Facebook one day and she sees that her ex-boyfriend, who happened to be her best sexual experience of her entire life, just got engaged, and she's actually upset about that, or she feels sadness or remorse about that, the question is, if she's in a monogamous marriage, can she tell her husband that she feels upset that her ex-boyfriend, she's not fucking with him, but that he got engaged and now she's sad? The answer in most cases is no, she can't.
You still got feelings for that dude, don't you?
It's because monogamy is built on the lie.
Right. Right.
So you can, and Zoe, I know you can appreciate this. Now expand that into the Black community, right? So we're trying to get better. We're trying to improve. So what are you doing as a monogamous man and monogamous woman is you're passing on that culture to your children. And so now you're teaching your children to lie to each other, to lie to themselves, to lie to their partner. And we stay in this perpetual cycle of ignorance. With open relating, like me and Kenny can tell each other anything we want. You see what I'm saying? Like Kenny can tell me she thinks somebody's attractive, or Rakim, I think your dick is whack now, or whatever. We can say anything we want to each other, and it's cool. You see what I'm saying? Because we learn to be honest. That's what open relating is. It's like, look, just keep it 100% with yourself and me, and we're all good. Monogamy is the opposite. Monogamy is like, make me feel like I'm the only one and the best one, et cetera, et cetera. And that shit is just damaging to the human psyche.
Wow. Kenya, your thoughts?
I totally agree with Rakim Sekou. Rakim Sekou is a Gemini, so he's going to put it to y'all straight. What I would say, I'm a Cancer. I have a little bit more water to me. And I will say, if people want to do monogamy, that is absolutely their choice. All I'm saying is that it's not a choice. It's a learned, conditioned behavior. And it's okay to want to stay conditioned your entire life. All we've done is said that we would like to not be inside of that Western conditioning. We would like to explore our creativity, our intelligence. We would like to create a model that works for us so we can parent our children the way that we want to. It's just like schools. If you don't like what they're teaching or how they're teaching, and they put your child in the bottom of the class every time because of the color of his skin, you can choose to create your own school. That's all we have done, is chose to create our own relationship paradigm.
So,
and
you're not,
we teach it, we live it, we love it.
Right, and you're not forcing this on anybody, right? You're not saying this is the way and your way is the wrong way and our way is the right way. This ain't religion, is it?
No, there's no wrong way. Whatever people choose to do is where they are in their lives. What we've chosen to do and what our clients love, because we take clients who are monogamous and move them in a safe way to polyamory. That's how we coach our clients. Thousands of people all over the world. So those are people who have chosen to do that, Zoe. If you're not choosing that, click away. I mean, it's fine. Be where you are.
Right.
However, Zoe, to that point, we are saying it would be helpful for all these couples out there to recognize the potential insanity of not being able to tell your wife or husband, your life partner, the one you love the most, the truth about who you are. Like, don't lie to yourself about the situation that you're in, because it's not good for your health. And so all we're saying is, look, you can be monogamous and be exclusive, and cheat on the down low and do whatever you're doing, but it's not necessarily the best way to be as a man, as a woman, as a husband, as a wife, or as somebody who's being an example and role model for your children. That's all we're saying. But yeah, feel free to go ahead and do it.
Rakim, let me just say this, bruh. The sun done set on the porch you sitting on.
I was waiting for you to say something. I'm like, when's Zoe going to talk about my lights going up?
You have to get a flashlight or something, brother, so we can see you now. Yes. But let me just say this.
I'm going to go grab something. I'll get some light.
I got you. And when you come back, I want Kenya to address this question first, because this question was presented to me as the show was happening. A sister on Instagram said, I think she sent me like this picture. She was like, polygamy and co-parenting, let's see, the wisdom of the ancients that helped to build stronger family. And she sent like a little picture that said polygamy and co-parenting. And it says the wisdom of your ancestors that helped to build stronger families. But at the top, it says in 2020, they all will be having recurring bacterial vaginosis. Being an alkaline vegan won't help BV. So I think what she's saying is in 2020, it's not the same kind of floral situation with the women that it was back in ancient times with all these diseases. And I think the question is, how do you manage that if you have multiple men? How do you deal with all of that if, most men, you know how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, most men we don't be paying attention. We sloppy and just, how do you deal with that?
Are you asking me? Because all of my men are 100% absolute kings. I don't know where the concept came in that sex is dirty, that sexual organs are dirty. The concept that I think that STDs came along as a mental proponent of thinking that you're doing something dirty. And that's what the West thinks of sex. Mm-hmm. The Western religions think that sex is dirty. Sex is a sin. Sex is nasty. This is something that's bad. They burned women at the stake for being orgasmic. Okay, so this is a culture that represses sex. So if you repress something within your spirit and your body and your mind, it's gonna rot. I'm not at risk for STDs. I don't have STDs. I don't have men who have STDs. People need to be safe about their sensual life. That's all I can tell you. But as for me, I'm not at risk just like I'm not at risk for COVID, whatever that is that they talk about, or AIDS, or whatever all these things are, cancer. That stuff cannot have my mind. However, you have to be safe in your relationship. But I don't know dirty men. All the men, I need semen. I need the sexual juices of men. Men need my sensual juices. My partners are just this. Sex is sacred. It's a sacred activity. So I just don't know where this all started, except to say it started in the West, in a culture that hates the body, that hates sex, and that thinks that sex is a sin. That's not my culture. I don't live in that universe.
Right. You don't see it as a sinful act.
No, I see it as a sacred act. And those are nutrient-rich substances that are inside of our bodies, and we feed each other and replenish one another with those substances. So I don't see them as bad or nasty. Somebody on your thread was saying, oh, how are you going to introduce your children to this whoredom? The word hur, W-H-U-R, means pleasure in ancient Egypt. Hur. And so my children need to see that their mother is full of pleasure rather than acting like a bitch because I'm stuck in a house with a man that, okay, I want to have vicarious experiences. I'm a human. So because I'm not stuck in a scenario like that, they get to see a hurra. which means pleasure in Egypt or pleasured woman.
Lord have mercy. You got my Christian engineer over here. She like, Lord have mercy, Jesus. And she got a fan and everything.
I have my fan now, y'all know.
Let me ask Rakeem. Rakeem, we were talking about how does one with multiple wives or multiple husbands protect themselves from STDs? And I read something on Instagram from someone who's listening to the show. They talked about BV, bacterial vaginosis. And how does one keep all of dustiness out of all of the sacred whoredom?
Whoredom. Yeah, what I would say to that, so Zoe, I threw a figure out earlier. I said 66% of marriages involve adulterous affairs, right? So let me ask you a question, Zoe. Of those 66% of cheating married people, do you believe that the man or woman who's cheating is communicating back to his wife or husband that he had sex with somebody else?
Probably not.
100% not. You see what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying there's some people out there like, look, I had to do it. Shit. I was on the road. I needed roadkill. I had to put it down. There's some people like that. And I'm gonna leave a small percentage of those people there.
And look, Zoe, no judgment. You know, do what you're gonna do. You see what I'm saying? But here's my thing. So what's the probability? Is the probability higher that STDs are passed between people who are not communicating with each other versus those who are communicating? So I said earlier, Kenya and I can talk about anything. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can know who her sexual partners are, or the fact that she's had sex. She can know mine, the fact that I've had sex. So we're aware of what's going on with us. Where in monogamous culture, you're not aware of what your husband's doing or your wife. They're on the down low with it. And so that's why STDs are so prevalent in monogamous culture. You see, not in polyamorous culture or an open related culture. In monogamous culture, STDs are very prevalent because of the down low, lying, and deceitful lifestyle everybody's living. My thing is, if you got open communication, which people in open relating and polyamory have, then there's going to be less of that going on because we're all talking about it. So if I have something going on with me, I can talk about it. My girlfriend got something going on with her wife, she can talk about it. Like, we can talk about what's going on. Where in monogamous culture, even though people are still sleeping with everybody else and have other families and all that stuff going on, they can't talk about what's going on with their wife or their husband because they're on the down low with it. So that, to me, is what the number one issue is in terms of, spreading STDs, is because people aren't communicating. They're on the down low. Women don't even know their husbands are bisexual or gay. You see what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all talking about? These
you might as well,
monogamous people.
Hey, you got to talk about it. You got to talk about it. The cross-contamination is real.
Down low behavior is what's really spreading this stuff around the country, around the world.
Wow, this is heavy.
Does that make sense?
This is heavy. Let me ask this. Let me get y'all opinion on this, because we just getting into this. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Everybody that's listening right now, you're listening to Karl and Kenya Stevens. Say the name of the new company.
Progressive Love Academy on Instagram and progressiveloveacademy.com.
Ooh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Now we in here talking about things that you're not used to talking about. Let me ask this question. I want to get you guys' collective opinion on Will and Jada Pinkett Smith's relationship. Are they in an open relationship? Can you call what they have an open relationship? What type of relationship on the outside looking in? What is it?
Well, Jada and Will are a black royal family, as my husband once said. So they can't just go around saying that they've left the status quo and that they're in an open marriage or an open relationship. People lose their jobs that way. People are extricated from society, of high society in that way. Black people, people of African descent, feel like we can't be the ones to start doing something new. They know everybody who has wealth is having multiple different relationships. They're all in open relationships. But if you're African American, you can't go first with something like that unless you're us, because we don't give a damn about that. That's not our measure for success, whether we're famous or not. What we're doing is spreading a grassroots message to support families and communities in staying together. Jada and Will are doing what they're doing. They're being celebrities. They can't just say they're in an open marriage. They would lose contracts. So that's what I see about them. Somebody on your thread said entanglement. No, we believe in a network of love. When you have to hide, that's an entanglement. But we don't hide anything. My second husband is right here, sitting across the desk from me.
Put him on the camera. We want to see him.
I mean, we're not hiding anything. There's nothing for me to hide. I don't feel shameful as a woman that I love sex. I love sensuality. I love connection. I love attention. I love the presence of a man. I love masculine energy. I respect men. I think men are kings. I think men are gods. And I think I'm a goddess. I don't feel ashamed of these core beliefs. And I'm not a person in a way where I can't say that nationally here on YouTube. I can say it anywhere, because I'm not bound by the Western status quo. It doesn't work.
But
so why would I follow it?
Let me ask you, and I'm gonna get your response to this, to the question about Will and Jada, Rakeem. But before I go there, let me ask this: is it not manlike to be territorial about his woman? Is it not manlike to be like, hell no, my woman better not? Is there something wrong with that presentation of manhood? Because a lot of times that kind of man gets labeled as too rough, too controlling, territory, all that. I'm just saying, I'm of that ilk. I would be like, hell, let me find out. Go ahead.
Well, look, Zo, no judgment, right? You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to get into judging, how men perceive these relationships and all this kind of stuff, because I used to be that guy. So I was totally against my wife being with anybody else. I wanted multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? I was looking forward to having like multiple wives and building a polygynous system and family for myself. So I understand the mentality when guys are like kind of dissing me and my lifestyle or what Kenya's doing. Like, I understand exactly where they're coming from because I've been there, right? But what I would challenge men to say is, what do you feel is more alpha, Zo? Is it more alpha for men to fight each other over a woman? Or is it more alpha for men to come together in brotherhood and protect all women and raise all children together? See, my idea of alpha is different than the Western, European definition of alpha, where they're just killing each other, like the Lion King, Scar's killing Mustafa because he's trying to get the pussy or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like my definition of alpha is men who are actually able to, build their masculinity. So build their leadership, build their strength and their power, build their integrity, you see what I'm saying? Build their respectability, and then come together in brotherhood with other men and build communities and build nations and build businesses and make money. Like, that's my idea of alphahood. If I'm jealous or insecure about what my woman does or any other woman, then I'm not an alpha male, I'm a beta male.
Wait,
It's like the movie Harlem Nights.
Hold on.
You see what I'm saying?
Let me wrap my whole head around. Let me get my whole entire head around what my brother. Are you telling me that it's more alpha? Because in Hollywood, everybody share everybody woman anyway. All the women are recycled in Hollywood. Okay, we just tell the truth now. All the women are recycled. It's like 1,300 women that get married and divorced from different dudes and remarry different dudes within Hollywood. They don't date regular people south of Wilshire. So are you telling me, I need to be clear here, that it is more alpha for that group of men to be like, we sharing them anyway. Let's just protect and share them. This sounds like a vampire nest from True Blood. Let's just protect it. Talk to me. Like, are you telling me it's more alpha to just share and not trip and just share them and protect them? Talk to me about that.
Look, Zo, last time I was on your show, I tried to explain to you, I was on with you and Corey, and I made a statement. I said the game is undefeated, right? And when I said that, what I'm saying is that your woman don't belong to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you think she belongs to you. You think you own her mind, her art, her heart. You think she's going to stay loyal to you. And I'm saying, if you believe that and your self-esteem as a man is based on how she functions with you, like if she's fidelitous to you, then I'm saying you're a beta male. You see what I'm saying? Like, if my woman or any woman out there can hurt me because of what she does with her pussy, then I'm a beta male. You see what I'm saying? Like, those are mother issues that we as men got to work through. Like, I shouldn't be upset or sad or angry or killing my family because my wife slept with somebody. Like, that's some beta male type shit. You see what I'm saying? And what I'm saying, alpha male shit is like, look, I understand that, you know what I'm saying, that how the game works. And that it's always going to be community penis and it's always going to be community pussy. Now, people they're not going to want to admit that. They're not going to want to come to grips with that. You see what I'm saying? But that's just the truth of what it is and how it's always been. And so I'm saying an alpha male understands the game and how it actually works and understands that his woman's going to want to be with other men and that he's going to want to be with other women and he's going to be okay with that. Like I said, it's like the movie Harlem Nights when, you know, Jasmine Guy's husband, the gangster, asked her, do you want to sleep with Quick? You know, Eddie Murphy in the movie. Quick. And she said, yeah, I want to sleep with him. He said, go fuck her. Go fuck him. Now, he wasn't threatened by that. You see what I'm saying? Like, he knows his woman wants to sleep with Quick. You see what I'm saying? And he sent her to do that and also to kill him. But the point is, he's cool. He's not threatened emotionally by the fact that his woman wants other men. And I'm saying that's more of an alpha male behavior. Not the man who falls apart, who gets upset, who gets angry and breaks down because his woman wants somebody else.
So let me just give you a little pushback on that. Because
all right, go ahead.
Although you prefaced it with there's no judgment, you still, you know, gave sort of a metric by saying it's more of alpha to not be bothered if your woman is sexually attracted to another man. Now,
yes,
this is the line I come up to, and then I don't cross it. I'm gonna put this energy drink out here. This is the line, and then I ain't gonna cross it. For me, I agree with you up to that point, which is it is weak. Your woman is gonna see other men that she might find attractive, that she might find gorgeous or, you know, intriguing or whatever. But on the other side of that, this little marker right here, this buoy, on the other side of the buoy is acting on it. Now, my thing is, if that's what y'all into and y'all agree to do that, boom, we act on that. But if y'all didn't agree to do that, and you agreed to be monogamous, and you agreed to be together, and I'm not saying together is forever. I understand, you know, relationship is a classroom, you know, where you learn about yourself, and the more you learn about yourself, sometimes you guys grow apart organically. I get all of that. I'm just saying, if you agreed to be monogamous, I don't think it's a bad idea to live up to those standards, right? For me, if you agreed to do that. Now, if you want to change the deal, then I don't think it's bad to have that conversation either and say, hey, we need to amend this agreement.
So I agree with what you're saying. So Kenya and I are not saying that everybody should be open. So I'm not saying that. So Let's back away from, you know, your wife actually having sex with somebody else. Let's forget all that. My thing, what I said earlier is, if your wife comes to you and tells you, that you're not in her top 5 all time of sexual skilled men that she's been with. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And that's great. So Zoe, you're on a different level because most men are not okay with that. And not only are they not okay with that, but even if their wife stays loyal to them and says, I'm not going to have sex or do none of that, most men would be intimidated by their wife having any communicating whatsoever with any of those men that she's had sex with before, or men who, look like or remind her of her past boyfriends who were excellent sexual partners. What I'm saying is that's the issue in terms of the male fragility and the beta-ness.
Right.
It's not about sleeping with other people. It's about how emotional as a man are you getting by the fact that your woman is not into you in the way that you believe she is.
Yes. And that's being centered in self. And that's all wrapped into self-worth, self-esteem, self-acceptance, the discovery of self-knowledge. That all of that is all tied together. Right? And
you can't be a man, Zoe, without that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I don't want men to think that you can be inside your masculinity and be an alpha male and you don't have any self-confidence, self-love, and self-acceptance.
Right. No, I agree with that. But I think you can have all of those things and also be like, this is my woman.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Look,
that's
wait,
the point.
Kenya, you see the way I tilted my hat? This is my woman. You understand me?
Right. I just think that that's such a fallacy when we look at the Black community. If we really believe that monogamy is working for the African American community, I think that we're a little lost. We're not looking around and seeing that 70% of Black women are not even married. We're not looking around and seeing that 83% of African American youth are not living in a 2-parent household. We don't have solutions. And we do, Progressive Love Academy does, but I'm saying in general, the culture doesn't have solutions. So I'm really concerned that we wouldn't want to look at this and think about it on a serious level, to have our families and our communities be together.
Right.
It's not my job. It's not the job of my vagina to prove to a man that he's a man. That's a beta man. If he needs me to do something with my body in order for him to know he's a man. And alpha man understands he's a man from birth. Okay, that's his birthright, his masculinity. It has nothing to do with what his woman is doing with her body. That's similar. That's why he compared this to slavery. Not that monogamy is slavery, but it's like it in that the persons who were the masters needed to be called master and need to do something to your body for them to feel powerful. Put you to work for them to do something. That's the same thing. So I'm saying it's not working in our communities. We've known from 50, 60, 70 years that our grandfather, our uncle had a family over town. We had a baby outside the marriage. Some babies went without their daddy. Some babies died. Some children died because of this setup. And it is not fair. It's not right to not examine something else. If you care about the problem. If you don't, and you just feel like, no, I'm too insecure. I don't want to think about that. I have to just stay with this because this is what my mama and them did. Your mama and them wasn't even happy. Neither was your grandmama now. So what are we talking about? What is this conversation about? Are we going to get to the solutions that we have come up with over the past 16 years, helping thousands of families worldwide? Are we going to discuss those? Or are we going to play around and talk about Lion King? Are we going to talk about the books that we have written on communication and how communication works and how to be authentic and tell the truth? That's all we're talking about, is having a truthful relationship where you can be upfront and honest. That's the main thing my clients complain about. My man is lying. My woman is lying. Well, how do we get over that? That's the solutions that we have, if you want them. Or we can play tiddlywinks here all night. It's up to us.
Come on, Kenya. You think we playing tiddlywinks up in this one? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
And read comments. When we're talking about, we have a solution.
Right.
And we can share that with you and how it works.
We didn't say it would be easy. We didn't say it was going to be easy. We're not saying that the solution is easy. Like, if you're used to lying, you know what I'm saying? Lying to your girlfriends, lying to your boyfriends, lying to your husband and wife, then it's not going to be easy for you to just come out of that and start telling the truth. Like, like the way I look at myself is I'm Shango. You see, I'm the sun. Like, everything I do is in the light. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is who I am. I don't got to hide behind some down low behavior and claim that I'm still a man doing that bullshit.
Right.
So I'm saying, as a man living in integrity, my word being my motherfucking bond, like that's what we're trying to get to. Can I tell my wife the truth? Can my wife tell me the truth? Can I live in integrity in terms of what I'm about? I'm saying in monogamy, most people cannot. And we've seen it all over our communities with all these divorces and this cheating, broken families, and just it's a complete mess. Can you put the statistics out there? But people are still defending it like it's the solution. 80% of children, black children, are being raised in single family households. People are like, is that monogamy? Yes, it's fucking monogamy. It's the culture of monogamy, the culture of judgment, the culture of thinking you own another human being. We're saying, look, as black people, we're fucking insane if we're gonna adopt this Eurocentric way of relating. That's not who we are. We are a communal people. We get together and everybody comes together and protects and loves each other. That's who we are as human beings. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can protect monogamy and protect monogamous culture and say that it works and that me and Kenya are insane. But meanwhile, look at the fucking statistics. It is what it is.
Okay. I love it. I love it. And let me just say this. Let me respond. When you talk about living your truth and telling the truth and being honest, you could talk about all that shit without talking about sexuality. You can have a truthful conversation about you telling the truth, about you being honest about your experience. You don't have to talk about a lifestyle. The lifestyle is created from your truth or from your lies. Either one. You choose.
Correct.
If I'm in here saying, why do you have the lifestyle you have? Without judgment. Why do you have that? Well, because we decided to break outside of the Western paradigm and its definition, right, of what relating is. Great. You're not forcing people to do it, right? You're not condescending and judging other people for not doing it. Okay, great. But if I come in here and I say, explain your process. Why do you do what you do? Why are you attracted to that? Why does this type of relating matter? And why didn't you keep it personal? Why did you turn it into a philosophy, a belief system? I'm just saying, people want to know, right? People want to know. People want to understand. And people understand best through stories, explaining through stories. You tell us your journey, your path. So this ain't motherfucking tiddlywinks. This is how do regular motherfuckers understand how y'all got to where you are. Don't disrespect the platform now. I'm listening.
Yeah, what Kenya was saying, though, is, let's talk about the solutions to what we believe is something that can help the community.
Sure.
Like, when we get on shows like this, and look, everybody wants to talk about sex and, okay, what's up with the, and that's cool. But the point is, like, we can just talk about what the solutions are, what the tools are, and then let people who gravitate towards those things gravitate towards them. Look, like Kenya and I said at the beginning, we're not expecting or trying to say people need to live our lives. But when people bring up, like, well, that's some beta male shit, well, I got to just call men out for what it is, because half the men that claim I'm a beta male are also lying to their wives and cheating on the down low and not true. Not living in integrity themselves. So I'm like, how can a man like that call me a beta male when he's obviously living like a beta male? You see what I'm saying? And so we're saying, look, if we get past all that and just talk about statistics, we talk about tools, we talk about what the philosophy is that we follow, then people can say, okay, we can determine if we want to use those tools for ourselves. And that's what we like to get. That's why we have a schools, though, because we just teach. But usually when we're on the radio, it's like, everybody wants to, like, like throw darts and stones at the way we're living our life. And they don't even know how we got here. The way we got here is through truth. When Kenya had feelings for the man, she just came and told me about it. And we talked about it and chopped it up and that kind of stuff. When I had feelings with another woman, I talked to Kenya about it. And we chopped it up. And that truthful communication is what allowed us to remain married for 25 years and raise, successful children in college, et cetera. And so that's what we're talking about, the solutions to keep families together and keep communities strong.
Right. So give me 3 solutions for having difficult conversations like that. Like, you brought up something that was real heavy to me that I want to get back to. And that is a lover coming to you and saying, you're not in my top 5 of lovers. Like a significant other, like, hey, you're not in my top 5 of significant others. How do you have that conversation? How do you?
So
You
the
know,
first
talk-
thing that we've done to support people in having very challenging conversations is that we've identified the difference between the animal, which is our feelings, the ego, which is what processes our feelings and tells us a story about what we're feeling, and the higher self. So any client that we take, we make sure that they understand who is speaking. If I go to my husband and I say, well, I don't want your dick anymore. Who's speaking? That's my ego. That's my animal. That's not my higher self, because my higher self is a part of me that has no shame and no blame, no victims and no villains. It does not have likes or dislikes. It knows that all is well and nothing is against me. That's the higher self. This culture doesn't teach us about that because this culture is ego-based. But what we've done is expand that so people know, our couples know who's speaking, animal, ego, or higher self. So once you know that, you can then go to your husband and you set container. What we share in our up-level system is how to set a container. Like, Zoe, if I want to tell you some real difficult shit that my ego is thinking, I would say, Zoe, can I vent to you? That's step 1. I have to ask. Most couples don't even take step 1. They do not ask if they can vent. They just let a tiger out in their house. And that tiger is their ego. So I have to ask. I have to set container. I'm going to say, Zoe, you're not doing anything wrong. And this is just my ego speaking. And then I'm going to tell you what level I'm at so you can get prepared. And so you don't have to listen to my vent. You can say yes or no. I'm going to tell you I'm at a level 10, Zoe. This is my ego speaking. Will you hear my vent? And if you say yes, then I will vent. Nice. Now you have a way to tell the truth. Let people know who's speaking. Let people know that you know it's just your ego.
Right.
So that's what the up-level system, that's how it begins. But it's a series of rituals of communication that we use with our clients that support them in telling the truth to their partner.
But so, Kenya, can I ask this question? Because that was really dope. And then I'm going to throw it to Rakeem for his 3. Let me just ask this question really quickly. Can these principles that you just outlined, can they also be used in monogamous relationships?
Oh, we coach monogamous couples, but we don't call them monogamous. They're sexually exclusive. Monogamy means I mate with one for life. If that mate dies, then so does my sex drive. Most people are serially monogamous, but we call them sexually exclusive. So we have sexually exclusive couples, we have polyamorous couples, we have polyandrous couples, we have all types of couples because we're highly respected and revered in our fields.
Yeah, most of our clients are monogamous. Just over, people want their marriage to work first and foremost. That's why people come to us, because we develop tools that are very complex and can help any relationship structure, but they can definitely help in monogamy. And so the first challenge Kenya and I had was like, how do we save our marriage? Like, what are the tools that we're missing to save our marriage when we were monogamous and we developed those tools? So monogamous people, or people who claim monogamy or sex exclusivity, can use these tools to improve the intimacy and the love between them. But right now, what we're saying, Zoe, is if you're lying to your partner or you can't tell your partner the truth, how close do you think you can actually get with them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. And don't think that your kids and your neighbors and everybody don't know what the real deal is. They can see that within you because they're doing the same thing at home.
Right.
So, we're teaching these principles so we can actually start to communicate inside of our own households. It's not about sex and dating other people. It's just about, utilizing tools to improve the intimacy and love between couples first.
Right. And some of these concepts that you guys are talking about right now, I've read thousands of books, and 2 books jump out at me as I listen to how you guys are framing this discussion. Radical Honesty by Brad Blanton. That book is so honest and so truthful about, being your truth and speaking your truth that some have, credited as a book that weaponizes the truth, where people who read it tend to hurt people by telling the truth. Then another book that would balance that out would be Nonviolent Communication. I tend to for people in my coaching get down, I tend to have people read both of those books to find a balance. Nonviolent Communication and Radical Honesty. And I don't think, like I said, neither one of those books talks about, you know, your relationship model, you know, how you prefer to relate. They just talk about your truth and how to speak it. One book talks about how to speak it in a way that is respectful, that isn't condescending. Another book glorifies speaking in a way that tears people down. But I try to have people read both of those books so they can kind of get a balance to understand what they're doing when they're telling their truth. Because a lot of times people don't really care about how other people feel. Where did they go? I can't see them. Keep them on the screen. I need to see my peoples. Oh, you had the book. Thank you, Jesus. Make sure they book is on the screen. Now, I got more questions. Is there a spiritual purpose for relationship? If so, what is it?
For us, we believe that the purpose is growth and the benefit is love. So most people think that the purpose of the relationship is to be happy or to be in love. And the books that you're talking about sort of do the same thing, where they nebulize concepts. So in your book that you are suggesting by this person of European descent, he's saying that, ooh, don't take anything personally. But no one knows how to do that. In our book, Up Level, we show you how to have a conversation without taking it personal. We give a framework for the actual conversation, just as we give a framework for the purpose of relationship. Mm-hmm. The purpose of relationship is growth. Your partner is going to trigger you. You know, most people, when they get in a relationship, they think these challenges, these are just too much. I've just picked the wrong person. This is the wrong thing for me. And it's the exact right thing for them. Because what we believe in is a model we call the three-way mirror. You're always looking at yourself. Most people don't understand that they're just looking at themselves when they look out there. So, you know, the three-way mirror is a system that helps us to analyze what we're looking at in our partner so that we can actually love them, even though they have these flaws and thoughts and conditionings and challenges. So we teach our clients to move through any challenge together utilizing this system of tools.
Rakeem?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, it's about knowledge of self, you know, like Kenya was saying. Like, do you understand who's speaking? You know, when your feelings are hurt, or, you know, your partner says something that's damaging or triggering to you, do you understand where that came from? Do you believe that, you know, your perspective on reality is the truth? Do you believe in that, or do you understand that everybody has their own perspective? Everybody has their own personal truths. And then when you try to convert somebody to your truth, you're going to hit a brick wall. You see what I'm saying? And that's not the point. The point is not to get everybody to believe what you believe or see things the way you're going to see them. So if you understand that inside of a relationship, then you're going to be able to work through the challenges that come up, that are inevitably going to come up. But if you're going to try to make your wife see things the way you want to see them, or your husband see things the way you want to see them, then things aren't going to work out in the marriage. And that's why most marriages break up, because people can't come to a consensus about what is actually going on. In our up-level communication book and at the academy, we teach about how to understand who is speaking, where are my perspectives coming from, where are my triggers coming from, and to deal with those things so that they don't tear the relationship down.
And here's an example, Zoe. I used to think that Rakim, my husband, was ignoring me. I'm looking at your chat too. Side note, somebody's saying Rakim lived next door. Rakim Sekou is in Texas with his girlfriend. He has a long-term committed girlfriend who lives in Texas. So that's where he is right now. I'm at home. Rakim have girlfriends all over the country. But anyway, one thing that I will say is that I used to believe Rakim Sekou was ignoring me. When I looked at that behavior, I would really believe he was ignoring me. He was ignoring my needs. He would read a book and I want to talk. He would be doing something else, going to sleep. I want to have sex. Later, I realized that I was looking at my own reflection of myself. When I was little, I was ignored by my dad. My dad was mad at my mom because my mom was dominant. And just like most Black women, they had to be so dominant. And so he was mad at her, so he's going to get her back by ignoring the kids. Right? So my mom and dad were monogamous in the house together, ignoring each other and having fights all the time. That was my household. Mm-hmm. So then now when I got married, I projected my dad onto Rakim.
Right.
I believed that all men would ignore me because my dad ignored me, and I didn't even know I had that subconscious belief. So what we do for our clients is help them see how you're seeing your own reflection. Rakim was reflecting what I believe about men. He was not ignoring me. So I shifted that around, and that's what we do for our clients.
Right.
We support them in understanding how to look at their partner in a way that's healthy.
And
Right.
so just to explain that further, so maybe your audience can understand, there's a reason why people are not successful financially. It's not because the opportunity is not there, right? It's because they don't have a wealth mindset. So I can take somebody with a wealth mindset and put them anywhere in the world. I can put them in the ghetto, in the projects, or on Wall Street, and no matter where I put them, they're going to make money. And the question is, why is that? The answer is because they've got a wealth mindset. When they look at the world, they see opportunity. Now, when you take somebody with a poverty mindset who struggles with money, you can put them anywhere. You can put them in Dubai, Wall Street, Beverly Hills, wherever. And what's going to happen? They're going to take that poverty mindset and they're going to see, failure in the financial world. They're going to see deficit and debt. You see what I'm saying? So what we're saying is, the reason why you're where you are, whether it's financially, spiritually, in your relationship or whatever, is because of the story that you've accepted about yourself, the story that you've accepted about money, about relationships. That's why a lot of women who come to us are saying, look, I seem to attract the same man over and over and over again. And what Ken and I are trying to explain to them is like, look, the reason why is because you can only see one kind of man. You can only find a level of attraction for one type of man. You can't even see the quote unquote good man who actually loves you, is going to take care of you, protect you, and hold you down. And the question is, why is that? Some other woman saw him and married him. It's because of the story that you accepted as a child and as a young adult. So this is work that we all got to do within ourselves. And again, if you can't understand it in relationships, look at it from a financial perspective. You know what I'm saying? Or you can make excuses why you're broke or why you're dealing with poverty, but we're saying, no, don't do that. If you're not where you want to be financially, change your mindset around money and wealth and prosperity and abundance. And then you'll see things change for you. And it's the same thing with sex and relationships and spirituality and whatever else you want to apply to, health, etc. You see what I'm saying?
So let me address this, because somebody said that's a pimp mentality, and it's not a pimp mentality. I understand exactly what Rakim is saying. I understand exactly what he's saying. In my 2015 book, The Relationship Dismount, the core principle is relationship is a mirror, which I took and framed from J. Krishnamurti, who's one of my favorite philosophers. He has a book called Relationship as a Mirror. He lived I think he was born in the 18s and lived all the way, no, he was born in the 19s and lived all the way to 1986. He was 90-something when he died. And from his book, when he mentioned relationship as a mirror, that gave me insight into exactly what Kenya and Rakim were saying, right? I get it. Here's where the mirror of relationship may turn into a carnival funhouse. Because the average human being, first off, you got a central nervous system, right? You got a central nervous system. The central nervous system takes in so much information that it has to block out some that only applies to you, right? This is where you get confirmation bias, right? Where you start looking for things that directly apply to you because you're taking in so much information. Your central nervous system cuts out the stuff that doesn't apply or relate to you. Now, in terms of relationships, this turns into a carnival funhouse, the house of mirrors. Because if you got 15 relationships with 15 people, those are 15 mirrors. And what if they got other wives and you're a wife, but they got other wives and other husbands and other this. And what I'm trying to say is the human mind can only take so much information in, can only process so much information, and then can only apply so much information. I'm not talking about the potentiality of what the human mind can actually do. I'm just talking about the access that the person has at their current level of development. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
We lost her Get her back.
Right here. I'm sorry.
But do you see what I'm saying? I'm saying
Absolutely.
to me, it takes a certain level of consciousness to be as open as you guys are. It takes a certain level of consciousness to be able to say, hey, I'm not offended. I don't feel territorial. I don't feel bothered. And we can walk all the way back down the line and say, hey, this is from a Western mindset, a Western construct. But how do you get people, right, from point A, right, which is fear, ego, anger, territorialism, to a space of open relating within a monogamous relationship? Open in terms of how vulnerable you can be. Open in terms of how truthful you can be. How can you get people to that point?
That the way that we do that is we run initiations. So in the West, we don't initiate children into adulthood. So we run adult initiations. One is called the Peaceful Warrior Man's Group. That's where men go and they really start to work on their childhood traumas. They start to look at how to manage women. They start to look at what they really want. Oftentimes when you date a man, he can't even say, you know, I'm just really looking for some sex. He can't be upfront about what he wants. I don't want a relationship. He may tell you what you want to hear. And we call that the type of man that hasn't been initiated. He has to be able to say exactly what he wants. So we initiate men in the Peaceful Warrior group at Progressive Love Academy. We initiate women in our Blue Butterfly Women's group to really start to know what she wants and stop kowtowing and stop, you know, living outside of her power. We really teach women to live inside of their power, both spiritual and sexual power, because sexual power is spiritual power. We also have initiate groups that are co-ed that help us use the 9 inner archetypes. There's a lot of training that goes into this. This is like Aikido. You can't just open your relationship. When a couple comes to me and say, I want to open my relationship, I say, you're not ready. There's 4 steps to open relating. Step 1 is authentic communication and telling the truth. I have couples practice that for 6 months before they can move to step 2. Step 2 is not even sex with other people. It's romantic friendships. So there's 4 steps that we have derived to get our couples safely from sexual exclusivity to open relating. And there is absolutely no fast way to do it. For me and Rakim, it took 2 full years. After he came home from work and shared that he was falling for a woman at work, and he was honest. So we had that first step. He was honest. He didn't just go have sex with her. We never cheated on each other. We took a spiritual path that we went through and now made it for others who want to go through that. That's at Progressive Love Academy. We run 6 initiations per year with 3,000 people in those initiations.
And so it all starts with desire. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, you know, I would ask your audience, like, what did they really want for themselves, right? And then that's the desire is going to create the path for you to grow into your power as a human being. So if you desire like a solid marriage, or you desire more money, or you desire better health or whatever, that's going to lead you on a path where you're going to have to find your power, right? You're going to have to find these archetypes or these laws within you that are going to be activated to help you get to that point. So the point is, you say, how do you get to a place of open relating? My thing is, if you don't want to open relate, then that's not the path we're going to take you down. No. Maybe your path is you want to leave your job and, you know, you want to leave corporate America and have your own business. Well, that's going to help activate the you know, intellectual assets within you that are going to help wake you up and into your power. So follow that path. So what we do is help people follow their desire. Like, one of our initiations is called the 9 Superpowers Initiation, and we give people 2 goals for the year, 1 financial, 1 relationship. And we help them come into the successful manifestation of those goals. And along the way, they learn about themselves, their strengths, their weaknesses, what they got to work on. And that's what's going to lead you into your power as a human being. It's not about open relating. Open relating is what me and Kenya did for our situation. You see what I'm saying? But that's not the solution for most people. Most people don't need to take that path. But most people need to find their power in whatever their passion is or their desire. If that makes sense. And
not to run the risk of being redundant, I also believe everything you guys are saying applies to monogamous relationships. I believe.
Oh, it does. We've never said it doesn't. It's others who believe that maybe it doesn't. But sexually exclusive couples come to us because we help them get rid of insecurity and jealousy that they have. They're not even open and they're jealous every day when their partner goes to work. You have women accusing men of cheating.
Right.
who are not even cheating, and they're stuck on an autopilot of accusing and accusation, and they run their marriage into the ground.
Right.
These people are the people who come to us for support because we know how to get rid of insecurity. We
Right.
know how to get rid of jealousy. We know how to get rid of the things that are in our minds, whether we're open or closed in our relationship.
Right.
These are tools and ceremonies and practices and activations that we do for,
Right.
I'm talking about thousands of people every day.
Right. And I also believe that openness, integrity, honesty, a kind of spiritual ethic, I believe that you can have that in a man who just wants his woman, or in a woman who just wants her man. Not men, not multiple men, and I'm just saying humanity is diverse. It's not monolithic. So
Right.
I'm saying these principles that you guys are talking about come across to me as universal. They don't come across to me as poly ideas, or you understand what I'm saying? They don't come across as those type of ideas. They come across as universal ideas that can be poured into whatever you decide you want your relationship to be. Am I incorrect about that assessment?
No,
You're correct.
100% correct.
100% correct.
That's what I want to hear, because there are a lot of people here going, what? Huh?
So I have a brother who played for the NFL, and he told me 15 years ago, 16 years ago, before we started our business, she said, Kenya, you would be a millionaire. Just don't tell anyone you're poly. Don't say you're poly. And for me, I can't do that. I can't show up in the public and be inauthentic. And then when something come out like the Jada Smith thing, I'm like, oh yeah, that's not, that didn't happen or whatever. I have told the truth about who I am from the beginning. If people don't want what we share with the world because we're poly, or they're afraid of that, there's nothing we can do about that. The people who need us have us. So yes, I mean, I think that yes, this stuff applies to everyone, and everyone uses it if they're not afraid. But once you lose this insecurity, this jealousy that we train you out of, once you move into your 9 superpowers, once you know who's speaking, ego, animal, or higher self, once you have these tools, you're open anyway in terms of open-minded. You are open-hearted.
Right.
You understand that love is bigger than ownership. And there's nothing wrong with ownership, but love is bigger than that. We all know that because we love all of our kids. We love all of our parents. We love all of our colleagues. We have a work husband. I don't know who we're kidding. I don't.
So what about bisexuality and these principles of openness and poly? Like, how does that, I mean, for me, that concerns me. Like, how does...
You said bisexuality?
Yeah, like bisexual people joining a poly... I don't know what the group is called. I don't know what that would be. But say you had people in your circle that were bisexual. How does that factor in? Because again, we live in a society where there's disease, there's, protected, unprotected. How do you get past that? Right? I need that to be clear. How do you guys work around those things?
Yeah, I mean, I've dated women who also date women. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just normal to me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to say about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with it. Like, again, I can't feel a way about another woman's choices. So if she wants to connect with another woman or have a girlfriend, like, why? I don't really give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. Like, do your thing. Do what makes you happy. As long as you're showing up for me in the way that I need you to, I don't really care what you do. You see what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm not into the bisexuality piece, but I don't judge people who do it. Like,
but I'm saying,
do you?
But Rakim, what I'm saying is, what happens if you date, say, a woman who's bisexual, who also dates a bisexual man? The cross-contamination, pimp. I'm concerned. And then we talk about truthfulness and honesty.
Here's the deal.
To me, a bisexual man is homosexual. To me.
I mean, so here's the deal, though. Again, like I said in the beginning. So if my girlfriend is dating a bisexual man, I'm gonna know about it because we talk about what we do. You see what I'm saying? The problem is, again, when you look at monogamous culture, you're not going to know if the woman you're with is dating a bisexual man. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of wives don't know that their husbands have boyfriends on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was that joke that Dave Chappelle showed, said in his last special. He said, yeah, apologize to the folks in Atlanta because I know a lot of, wives are here with their gay husbands or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like again, that's a monogamous thing. Like, I know what my people are doing. They know what I'm doing. So, it doesn't really bother me. I'm saying my issue is if my people are on the down low, if I don't know my partners are bisexual or a woman doesn't know her husband is bisexual or gay or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's more of the issue as opposed to accepting somebody's sexuality. So you can make or making the choice based on having all the information at your fingertips.
Wow. Kenya, your thoughts? Wow.
I don't I don't judge poly people or monogamous people or bisexual people. I don't judge that. I mean, everybody can have the sexuality that they want to have. I don't feel, as I said, I'm not in danger for COVID or STDs or HIVs or all these little critters that y'all have running around here. That's not in my trajectory. I mean, I don't believe in it. I'm a cancer survivor. When I was 23, I was diagnosed and gave 4 months to live. I told them, to hell with y'all, I will live because this cannot have my mind. I have worked out systems in complete ways, and I help women every day to get rid of that stuff from their body and never attract that type of energy again. It's energy. It's not mine. Right. Y'all can have it and talk about it, and that's not where I live.
Right.
And they also told Kenya and I that we weren't going to have any more children. You see what I'm saying? Like, after she had that ovarian cancer, they were like, well, you're not going to have any more kids. And we like, basically, fuck y'all. We had 2 more kids.
They told me they had to take my uterus out. I left the hospital. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not with it. Like, you guys can do that. I don't do that. I had 3 home births. I nursed my children. I have a healthy diet. I know how to connect to the earth. I'm connected to spirit. I'm connected to nature. I'm a mother. I'm a goddess. I'm a priestess. I am an intellectual. I'm a creative. What do I need from this culture that they can give me? They don't even know how to cure a common cold. They're not going to give me their ideology on any of their stuff. I'm sorry. It doesn't match my own.
I'm listening. Well,
I wish more would, because we don't have to be suffering. We don't have to be involved in this. This is a choice now at this point. The information age is here. I'm on here talking. There's 500 people on here. We have a choice of how we live, how we worship, what we do, who we make love to, the illnesses, quote unquote, whether we're going to open ourselves to that or not. We have a choice now.
And our thing, though, is, again, people get hung up on the fact that Kenya and I are open. And we're like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if you look at your life, like, that's going to be something that you get hung up on because your path is going to be different. You see what I'm saying? Like, the point is, listen to what we're saying about the fact that you have the ability to actually create your life. Yes. And you can basically have whatever it is you desire and understand the technology to get you there. Again, you don't have to be open. We're not invested in people being open. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you want to do. The point is to alleviate the insanity in our community, where the insanity is saying, like, you are a limited being. That's not our culture. Our culture, coming from Kemet and ancient Africa, is we are God beings on the planet, and that we manifest what we desire for ourselves, our families, and our communities. That's where it starts. And if that means you're going to manifest monogamy or a happy marriage with just you and your spouse, then we're all for that. We want happy marriages. We want children being raised inside of sane unions. We don't want divorce and cheating and domestic violence. What happened when the COVID thing hit? Spouses were spending more time with each other, and what happened? The domestic violence rate shot through the roof. Why? Because people don't really even like each other like that. You see what I'm saying? So we're like, we need some solutions in our community that are going to help us be sane adults inside of our marriages and families. Like, that's the priority.
Right. So I think these are powerful points that you two are bringing up, and I'd like to ask some questions around it. Like, for instance, what are the STD rates in poly relationships? What are the domestic violence rates in poly relationships? Are they higher? Are they lower? Like, these are basic questions that people would like to know. Do children do better in poly relationships than they do in monogamous relationships? I mean, what are there any stats or data that you guys can use to buttress your perspective here?
Yes, there are early stats that are out, but they've not studied it extensively yet. But the earliest stats that have come out is that children in polyamorous relationships where they're exposed to more than two parents, two stressed out parents, because the nuclear family is not sustainable. Two adults cannot raise three children alone. So where there's more adults taking care of more children, like the village of our ancestors, I guess we forgot that. That is where we have healthier youth. The stats around STDs in poly relationships are lower than that of monogamous relationships because polyamorous people are on the level where they actually have discussions about their sexual health, their sexual history. We don't need to run and sneak and get in bed with somebody because we have already had a conversation. We don't have a conversation with these people. When's the last time you were tested? What do you do for STD and your protection? Do you have any positives? That's conversations that poly people have. It's the culture of polyamory. The culture of monogamy is sneaking, running, hiding, lying. So you have to move fast, and you're going to make a few little mistakes here and there.
She said monogamy is tantamount to lying.
I mean, you have to. You have needs. After 10 years, what you're not understanding, though, is that there's a hormone in the brain that is called oxytocin. It's the bonding hormone.
Yep.
And when you first meet somebody, it's very high. That's the feeling of being in love. It's very high. But every time you have sex with them, especially if you move in the same house with them, then if you sleep in the same bed with them, y'all all know this. I don't know why I have to say this, but that chemical level goes down and you don't feel that same level of desire. And nobody's addressing this. Is a scientific fact. It's called the removal of the polarity. Now that y'all are together every day, all day, y'all never noticed that? So what do couples do about that? Do they even have a discussion about it? No, they run around and they have to save themselves because you need a certain level of that oxytocin. We call it new relationship energy. And so do y'all, because y'all have done it. So what we're talking about is just a reality and moving African Americans into an ability to talk about these things truthfully. It's science.
So I'm getting some messages from Instagram. I just got a message from a young lady. She said she's acting like poly communities are fully healed people.
No, we're not. We're not claiming that. Nobody's claiming that. Look, everybody got issues.
Talk to us about it.
Yeah, everybody's got issues. First of all, people in the poly community came from the mono community. So we're all the same people. You see what I'm saying? So we're all working through our stuff. The point about polyamory and open relating is that when you're in the open community, at least you're in a community where you're encouraged to tell the truth to your partner. You're encouraged to live an authentic lifestyle where you don't got to shame yourself or other people for the choices they make. Like that is a step up in the right direction. That's all we're saying. We're saying that lying and cheating and living outside of integrity are not healthy for us as human beings and families. And we're saying a step in the right direction is to, possibly learn authentic communication and learn to tell your spouse the truth about who you are and what you want in your life. That's all we're saying. You see what I'm saying? Now, can you do that in monogamy? Yes, you can do it.
Absolutely.
The problem is when how people get into monogamy again, Zoe, you know the deal with the dating scene and whatever. Like women got to lie about their body count in order to be accepted as potential good wives, right? Like we all know the game. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So we're
Let
saying
me find out.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And so and especially, and look, Zoe, let's say your wife only had sex with one other man before you, only one. And you would say, like, that's pretty good. Like most men would be cool with that, except for what? If it was his best friend. You see what I'm saying? So now he's got these insecurities about the fact that his wife had sex with his best friend and she automatically becomes non-wife material. So what I'm saying is that we have, in monogamous culture, you got to lie about who you actually are, and that becomes the foundation of the marriage. And we're saying that's not healthy.
Well, let me just say this. To Kenya's point about oxytocin and it wearing off, she's 100% right. She's talking about something called enhancement bias. The enhancement bias. That first 18 months of your relationship, that little honeymoon period, couples suffer from what is called the enhancement bias. And with the enhancement bias, the two people are invested in the success of the relationship, and they tend to marginalize that person's flaws and aggrandize that person's good character traits, right? That's called the enhancement bias, and it lasts roughly 18, maybe 26 months. And then you start coming into the realization of what's happening. Now, during the enhancement bias, she's right. Testosterone levels are up, oxytocin levels are up, and there's some bonding happening. But the reality of it is, I don't care if it's poly, I don't care if it's monogamy, I don't care. Relationships are spiritual in nature. And like I said, they're there to teach you more about you. And sometimes you need multiple relationships. Now, some people can try to kill that bird with one stone and have multiple relationships at the same time, or they can have multiple relationships one at a time, one after each other. Regardless, you still gonna get the goddamn lesson, and the lesson is gonna come in an incremental fashion. I've never seen somebody get a whole lesson from a relationship. They get pieces. They get bits and pieces, right? And this goes back to the metaphor of the fun house. If relationship is a mirror, and I'm in relationship with 15 people or 5 people or 3 people, now I've got 4 mirrors to manage. 4 types of reflections coming back. My reflection bouncing off of them and their reflection bouncing off of me. I've got to be able to have the bandwidth mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally to be able to process that. And I just think we live in an anti-intellectual society. It's a microwave society. It's a society based on convenience. And I just don't think people have the bandwidth, the intellectual bandwidth, to be able to process all of that shit. You dating a prism, somebody said. Honey, give me one mirror and let me get this information. And I'm just saying that's for me. I'm not saying that's for everybody. Just give me a mirror and let me see what those reflections are. That's coming back to me. And now I'm responsible for what my partner, through their biofeedback, is giving me. Now I got to say, oh, okay, I don't listen. Oh, okay, I'm condescending. Oh, okay, I'm narcissistic sometimes. Oh, okay, I'm combative sometimes. Oh, okay, I'm competitive sometimes. I got to be able to take those bits and pieces and then start owning them so I can reconcile them for the next experience or for the next level of this experience. And I think that happens in both poly relationships and monogamous relationships. What I don't want to do is make people think that being with one person is a bad thing. I need people to understand, however you get your spiritual knowledge through relationship, because I believe that is the purpose of relationship, go through it the way you are most comfortable. That's how I feel. Your thoughts?
We agree 100%, Zo.
Yes, we do.
That's why we want the 66+% of people cheating in their marriage to stop doing that and just be with their spouse.
Hey, nobody can lie with the numbers. I had the guy, Noel Biederman.
What I identified as an opening woman a while ago, we were only laughing because that's what we've been teaching for the past 16 years, 2 decades, the mirroring. But we also actually show people how to process, and after ownership, actually how to change and remove those things from your psyche and shift from those traumas that you've had. So this is what we've done. You know that's what we do. So we were just laughing at that. But one thing that we developed is that we once I started to open. So I was in my marriage for the first 12 years, monogamous with Rakim Sekou. I got married when I was 21. I'm now 46. So we've been married for 25 years. And I know I don't look 46. But anyway, we've been married for 25 years. And what happened was after the 12th year, when we started to be honest with each other about what was going on, I had attractions, he had attractions, neither of us cheated. But as soon as we started talking about this and, we're moving towards those 2 years where we're going to open there at year 12, as soon as I started dating people, I realized that there was these different attractions. A different part of me would light up when I met different type of men. So some men, I found that my womb space would light up. I call that a womb choice, where that's a man where you're very highly, in the first 5 minutes, you know that you want to be sensual with him. But then there's other men who I just wanted to be more emotional with. I want them to go to the mall with me or lay on them and watch Netflix and just, they take care of me emotionally. Other men, I thought of them as a guru, a wisdom, they have all of this wisdom. I love it. So those types of things is what we've categorized also to help support men and women, because in the West, we believe that we should be every one of those things for everyone that we love. So especially in a marriage, we think we're supposed to be womb, we're supposed to be crown, we're supposed to be heart, we're supposed to give everything. And I have never been in a relationship where a man could get everything they need from me. He might play chess. I don't play chess. He might like to go skiing. I don't go skiing. Then that becomes a place where we have to compromise. Here, we don't believe in compromise. We believe in, wow, if I have these different interests, I have lots of different friends. I have a community. I'm not going to try to squeeze it all out of my husband, because we did that. My husband tried to squeeze it all out of me, and that almost ruined our marriage. So that's another aspect of this that's very important. When you don't have something that your partner desires, should they not have somebody who gives that to them? It can be non-sexual. What about friends? I have clients who say their wife can't have a friend. Their husband can't have a friend. So I'm saying we have a bigger issue, even if we don't want to talk about poly.
Can you please go deeper into womb choice? The whole chat room just went crazy. What is a womb choice? Is that like a coochie pager? Talk to us.
That's in our book, The 9 Expressions of Love. But what I say a womb choice is one of those relationships, and women know it. That's why the woman's laughing now. I haven't heard her for the past hour. Now she's laughing. Because the womb choice means that it's a connection where your father issues will come up. So the relationship becomes very tumultuous, but it's the best sex of your life. Like you would do anything for it. Every woman has been there. The black people call it being dickmatized. And it's a very powerful energy that brings back your first fatherhood wounds. And so that's why you're so attracted to him. And it's usually like a bad guy, like a fuck boy or something. But it's not negative. We show women how to deal with their womb choices. We show women how to deal with their support choices, who they usually marry. We show women how to deal with their crown choices and how to deal with their money choice. So this is what we do at Progressive Love Academy. We have the skills, we built the tools. And so we really encourage men to have all of those areas dealt with. Rakim will tell you the men's areas. But the women's areas, I teach the women how to cultivate men in every one of those areas, whether they're poly or not, because you need it.
And see, Zoe, the thing is, you got to talk to women and ask them to be truthful to you, just not, your women, but just in general about what this game actually is. Like, women need to be honest so that we understand as a community what's going on. Like Kenya said, all women have had that experience where they see a man and they know within 30 seconds if they're going to fuck him or not. They can feel him in their womb. You see what I'm saying? And now they might not end up sleeping with him, but like women have that intuition, that feeling. You see what I'm saying? Now here's the game, though. Like Kenya said, most women are not married to these men. They're married to their support choice, which is the man who's going to cover you, take care of you, give you the house, and you can present him to your family and your parents, and he represents well. But he doesn't activate your womb in the same way your womb choice does. So what we're saying is, in a lot of these marriages, probably most of them, Kenya, I would say, that these women, they have some men out there that they really are dreaming about or thinking about and desiring, and they can't talk to their husbands about it. And again, for me, Zoe, this is just part of the game, man. Like, this is not like rocket science. This is just the truth of how we are as a species.
And Rakim, somebody's on the chat saying that I'm admitting to having daddy issues. Let me tell you guys, we are growing up in a completely dysfunctional culture.
Right.
Complete dysfunction. I coach celebrities, all types of people with money, whatever color of their skin. The culture is dysfunctional.
Right.
So you grew up in a dysfunctional home. Men have mother issues, women have daddy issues, women have mother issues. I mean, you guys
that's the difference. See, Kenya and I, again, we're admitting to the fact that I had mother issues, that Kenya had father issues.
Yes.
What we're saying is that's the culture we live in.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And like what we're saying is, instead of denying that you have them, like look at your life and be honest about what, how you feel, what you don't have, etc., and choose to work through those things. I had to work through my mother issues. Kenya gave me a ritual or a set of process a long time ago where I had to talk to my mother every Monday night and tell her one honest thing that I felt hurt about as a child, and have that conversation with her. Every single Monday night we went through that. Like I had to heal my little boy who was hurt by my mother and my father when I was young. So me and Kenya are not saying we're above anybody. We're saying we're all in the same pot.
Yes.
I have mother issues. She has father issues, and so does everybody else.
So that was in 2005 that we did that ritual. Like, we are not new to this. We true to this. Right. Now, somebody's asking in the chat, what's the difference between support choice and womb choice? Can I be both? That's where you have to come to ProgressiveLoveAcademy.com. There is a free library with a class on womb choice. There's a class called Polyamory on Fleek. There's a class on everything. We have 5,000 classes in our libraries, and 10 of them are in the free library. So come get it. ProgressiveLoveAcademy.com. It's free. You can get more information. We can't explain all about every 14 of our books, everything we've done for the past 15 years. We taught hundreds of thousands of classes.
So I have a question, and I want you both to answer it, because, it's the male and female, the yin and yang here, the energy on it. Because the womb choice really is crazy. And I'm not saying crazy in a negative way. Don't get. So
we know you know about it, Zoe.
Right. I'm just saying, just the term is amazing. Well, I made a womb choice. It's amazing.
You had no choice in the matter.
So
the womb choice is the strongest one for women, and that's the one they're trying to find in the husband. But if you marry somebody and live in a house with them, they're not going to stay your womb choice.
Right. So let me ask the question. Are most womb choices bad choices?
No, they're great choices.
Talk to me. I want to know.
No, you have to know how to operate in them. Again, if you get in it with the Western mind state that it seems that you guys are promoting, it's like you can't really deal with it. You can't process the lessons. You can't see the mirrors. You can't work through the challenges of womb choice. Y'all just go crazy, start beating each other, smashing car windows. That's when it happens in womb choice. She's stalking you. Okay?
Hey, Zoe,
I'm listening.
Hey, Zoe, did you see the video of the girl who set her man's Jeep Cherokee on fire? Yes. And it blew her back?
Yes.
That's a womb
choice. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. To me, that's a bad choice. That's a womb choice.
That's a copywritten term. I need y'all to know it's trademark. These things are dope. Systems are dope. And they finally explain to men what's going on with that. Because a lot of men don't know what happened because you don't really like your womb choice. She's like a puppy. Most men don't really love that type of scenario because they are looking at their mother. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happens in womb.
That's a womb.
Yeah, you're not going to want to marry her.
That reminds me of Kool Moe Dee. Let me say this, and I'll throw it back to you, Rakim. That reminds me of what Kool Moe Dee told me a few years ago. Kool Moe Dee was using an astrological metaphor. He was saying masculine energy at its lowest conscious level equates to war. He said it's war at its lowest.
Do you agree with that?
Conscious level. Let me just I'm gonna tie it into the womb choice. Right? He said feminine energy, right? He was saying at masculine energy's lowest level is war, it's death, it's destruction, it's conquering, it's all of that at its lowest level.
White male.
He said at the highest, he said feminine energy at its lowest level gives life indiscriminately. And I thought that resonated with me on the womb choice. To have a baby, to have something to love because you don't love yourself, that's a womb choice. How do women, because I see women, because this womb choice thing is powerful to me right now. I know a sister whose mother pimped her from a young girl, pimped her, put her with grown-ups, laying in the bed at first and then sex as a little girl. What kind of womb choices get made from that, and how can y'all and your philosophy bring a person like that back to a, I don't want to say normal, but I want to say healthy sense of self?
We do that every day. That's what we do at the Progressive Love Academy. We have that technology. It is spiritual technology. It is intellectual. It is also about reprogramming, rewiring. But she has to embrace the womb choice. What I've made every one of my womb choice into a fabulous relationship because I know how to deal with them. If you don't and you try to get them to do what the hell you want them to do, you can forget about it. In a womb choice relationship, a woman has to learn surrender. I mean, I don't want to go too deep into this though, because
please, yes,
what we develop is every single skill that a male or a female need when they find themselves in a womb choice. You can make those beautiful relationships because they will empower you. They're bringing up that sexual chi. You know it feels good. You can hardly stay away. Even if you're a man and you don't want to be in a relationship, you still know you feel your power and vitality when you sleep with a woman who's womb choosing you. You feel like a damn king. Okay, that's just the bottom line. And so that's what the technology we have is how to deal with it when it comes up and make it sweet. My womb choice lives here right now. You know, it took 7 years, but we have a way to deal with it. That's what we do at Progressive Love Academy.
Hell no. Wait. Karl ain't your womb choice? Oh, no. Hell no.
You want to meet him? You want me to get him so you can say hi?
No, I'm saying, I thought Karl was your womb choice.
No, Karl is my crown choice. And that's what somebody was saying on your thread. They say, oh, they look like they have a business relationship. That's how we work from day one. We went to Howard University. He was getting his master's. I was finishing my bachelor's at Howard. And when we met, it was all about like the business of healing the universe. We were talking all night, spiritual subjects, couldn't go to sleep. Our sex was talking about what we're going to do in the world together to support humans from age 21 and 24. And we're doing it currently.
All right.
And
so
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not important. Again, most men want the woman to womb choose them. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Because when you're in an open or polyamorous lifestyle, you're going to have multiple women in your life who choose you for all those different choices. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of women who womb choose me, a lot of women who crown choose me, who money choose me, who support choose me. Like I've got all of that. So I don't need it from every single woman in my life. So the fact that me and Kenya don't have that is not a problem because I'm getting it from other places. You see what I'm saying? So I don't got to put pressure on her. Oh, you better love this dick. Or you better love it. It's not even about that. Like, yo, let's build our marriage based on what the foundation of our love is.
Yeah.
And not try to manufacture it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I need some other energy from somewhere else, I go get that from somewhere else.
Let me say this. I need you guys to do this real quick because we got to wrap it up real quick. Where can people find you? How can they connect with you? Both you guys in Instagram handles, whatever, books, whatever, please share your information right now.
So progressiveloveacademy.com. That's where our school is. We've got the initiations, the classes. We teach all this stuff. All we do all day long is chop it up about this, about how men can manage their different women, how women can manifest the men and marriages they want, about how you can come into your higher power. That's what the Academy is all about. We've got books, Up-Level Communication, which Kenya showed you earlier. That's a book that Kenya and I both wrote together. I have 2 books, The Art of Open Relating, Volumes 1 and Volumes 3. Those are on Amazon. And we have a book coming out at the end of this year called The 9 Expressions of Love, which is going to talk about all these choices: womb choice, support choice, crown choice. It talks about the masculine desires, the 9 expressions of love. And we talk about submission and domination. So that book comes out at the end of December. It's called The 9 Expressions of Love.
Nice. Let me just say this. It's always a blast when you guys are on the show. I so appreciate your insight. Might not agree with everything, but I never agree with everything that anybody ever says. Maybe I'm just a natural contrarian. It's just who I am. However, hey, I love having you guys on, and I hope to have you guys back on soon again so we can continue this really meaningful conversation. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your lives to share with your friend Zoe. We appreciate it over here.
Thanks for having us on, Zoe. Always a pleasure, brother.
All right, thank you, man. And when you get back into town, holla at me, man.
Will do, brother.
All right, appreciate you, Kenya. Hey, listen, let me do this right now. We got amazing content on Thursdays right now on the ZOLO Mansions. And I'm just going to say, y'all done fell asleep on the support side of the game. Support the channel. Hit the like button. Hit the share button, right? All of the businesses that I put in front of you, right? Strawandwool.com. Please support this black-owned business. Total Package Energy, X-Wolf, the HuriKane Report. Support it. Support it all. Support Sarah. Pull up Sarah's Cashapp. Please. Do you guys like the content? The guests, Renoko Rashidi, Omar Buckley from Ram Omar, Karl and Kenya. Do y'all like the content I'm producing? If you like the content, just don't be a bystander. Can we get some masterclass, the ZoWhat Masterclass, right? Can we get some support for that amazing masterclass? Somebody said, and I got to do it this way. Like, people be saying, listen, there are different streams. There's different layers to this whole get down. Somebody in the chat room said something, Jeff and Corey should have been here. I've had Jeff and Corey on shows with Karl and Kenya. They can't be here for every show, right? They can't be here for every show. And when they're not here, it gives you a different look and a different perspective. Expand your mind. Corey has a unique perspective, right? Jeff has a unique perspective. I can't do the same show the same way every time. I like to do it different. I like to have different angles, right? Different perspectives, right? This is a different lane. The ZoWhat Show and the ZOLO shows and the Mansion shows, different shows, different angles. Do you understand what I'm saying? But what I don't like is the passive participation. Sarah has to be at work in 29 minutes. Can somebody hit Sarah's Cash App? Put your Cash App up there, baby girl. If you appreciate all the content that we put on here, please support this brand. Please support this channel. Show your love. Show your respect. And also, sign up for the masterclass. That's ZoWhatMasterclass.com. If you haven't signed up, it's 5.5 hours, right? 5.5 hours of intense relationship content. There is homework, printables. You can print out these exercises. There is a relationship toolbox. It is professionally done. It is dope. Go there right now, ZoWhatMasterclass.com. 4 modules. Support. That's all I'm asking you to do. Thank you so much for tuning in to ZOLO Mansions. Another slapper. Please take this video, share it. If you found some clips, some pieces in there that you liked, put it on Instagram and tag me in it. I'm at Mr. ZoWhat. Holla at your brother. We thank you so much. We gotta go. Deuces.